All right, welcome back to the Yanagida Podcast show, episode 58. Gang, we got Dodie. Normally behind the scenes, he is freaking just getting after it. He's like making sure the cameras are good, the mics are good, making sure this whole thing and our guests sound good. We can produce this for you. And by the way, it's all over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, and a handful of other platforms. Please check us out. Leave a review, please, because those things help us get the word out there and spread the messages from our guests and these conversations out there.
Yeah, if you guys want something changed or you have feedback for the videos, is this angle too weird? Just leave a comment, and then I'll do my best to accommodate. Best to keep an open mind, right?
Yeah, for sure. And people are wondering, Dodie, like, how did you first came here?
Yeah.
From because you're a Baldwin High School senior, and then what piqued your interest?
I think to go all the way back. This whole thing was supposed to be for CTE, I think.
What does CTE mean again?
Career
yeah, you're good.
Very fast.
Career technical education or something?
I believe so, something like that.
Yeah. Some sort of training. Was that like a college course or?
It was it's like a type of CTE deal. Whoa.
CTE. Yeah, I can't wait.
Career and technical education. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
And Miss Roy was always telling us that ever since ACOM, which was Arts and Communication, that we were doing all the way in freshman year, and then she was like, "You guys, if you can continue down this path, I recommend you all take the CTE." I'm like, "What is that?" She's like, "Oh, you just do this project, and it's like a milestone for you." I'm like, "Oh shoot, all right." Comes senior year, and I'm like, some guys are doing it. I'm like, I should do that too. Miss Roy's been telling me all that since 4 years ago. And then she was like, okay, kind of late, but she gave me the ideas like you can do internship, you can do a PSA about a certain topic using your video skills. I'm like, oh, and then I was trying to brainstorm, and then she brought up the idea of working under you as an intern. So that was the thing. It was an internship, and then she said I was like, okay, so what's this place? What is this place basically? She's like, oh, it's a gym, of an acquaintance of mine. I was like, oh, it's a gym. I never heard of it obviously before. I only know the Anytime Fitness, the larger gyms out there. And she said it's like a kind of family gym kind of business. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was wondering what kind of videos am I making? She's like, you'll be making basically just doing working under Justin. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's a gym. I can come here to work out, and I did for a long time. Mostly the entire week I just came in.
Yeah.
And then right after, just go upstairs, record, all that kind of stuff. And I think that was a great opportunity. I'm very thankful that Miss Roy, stuck with me, even though, it was pretty hard, whole thing together, doing an internship. Mm-hmm. It was my first experience with a kind of job, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'd say I'm really thankful for bringing it up. Because if it was some other type of internship, when there's some, not anyone not as kind as you, and something that isn't a gym, I probably would have been like, no.
Because how long have you been here altogether now? Internship and doing the podcast.
Even just working, counting working and doing internship since the 1st of December. That's when I think we started.
December, beginning of December. Dude, that's 8-9 months? It's August there.
Yeah, 8 months.
Wow.
So it's been a while, and so I'm thankful I'm here.
And you're getting bigger. You're getting more muscles. Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're getting thicker, good thicker muscles.
Yeah, I don't mind that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you're getting more.
I got a bit thicker, not just with muscle, but yeah.
Hey.
I remember you're like, Dodie, let's check your weight. I was like 143, the same as Shannon.
Yeah.
And then I think a month down the line, I'm 150. I'm like, whoo!
7 pounds. That's all the adobo.
All that adobo. It's
all the chicken.
Not even the chicken, just the pork adobo.
Pork adobo. Dang, that's the bulking secret.
Yeah, and definitely it's because you guys hear all the coaches like Alan, Matt, Shannon, and Tyler. Everyone's been helping me. And then for a moment I stopped once I did get the job, and then Shannon reminded me, he's like, so you're gonna work out at home and you get all this here all to you. I'm like, shit, bro, you're right. So I start coming back, and I was like, it feels good, feeling this pain,
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a pattern with myself when it comes to working out, especially. It's I'll always be working out, but when it comes to going to the gym or working at home, it's
pushing yourself.
It's it's on and off. all the time. Be like, oh man, I used to bench like a plate before, and now I can only do like 25s consistently. I'm pretty small when it comes to that kind of thing. And then I just stopped being sorry for myself and being like that, and just like just do what it is. Like just keep pushing it until stop.
That's really good. Though, because like people in high school, or now that you graduated, but people in high school, they don't really, not a lot of people work out. I mean, how did you get into working out at first? Because I remember it was really rare. You were like, I'm going to work out. Is it okay if I work out before or after we do the video? And I'm like, yeah, go work out afterwards or before. And then you did. Like, where did that, like, initial drive, motivation come from?
When it comes to like my most initial drive,
Yeah.
I remember, I think I talked about this on a previous, recording before. It was that all the time, it was before my sophomore year, I'd always be like, yeah, I'm kind of ashamed about it, like how I don't work out. I was a pretty big dude. I ate, eat always what the parents give you, right? And not even like lessen the amount, just eat all they give you. My dad, take more rice. Oh, okay, take more rice. My dad, take more food. Here's some sweets, And I was like, it feels good. And I started seeing myself, comparing myself to others, which you should never do, is that, these guys are skinnier. I'm not talking about like ripped skinny, I'm just like healthy skinny, you know what I mean? And I wasn't jealous. I was just like, those guys, like, how can they do that? And I realized they work out, and, I was like, I can't say that I don't want to work out, but you could obviously see I don't work out. And then I was, started saying like, oh yeah, I go running, and then even my best friend, thankfully, he pointed out, he was like, that's cap, you're not. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And, I was like, stop it already. And I was signing up for electives for my sophomore year because I had an extra one, and I put one of my backups as weight training. And then I was like, I was still a band kid by then, the band kid, and I still like play instruments and stuff. But if I remember correctly, when I got my schedule in the middle of summer before sophomore year, I was like, oh man, I got weight training, and my initial reaction was like, frick, bro, I hate being all icky and gross and like that stuff, because I'm not gonna lie, it's still gross. And then I started getting to it. Everyone's friendly, like even like the big macho guys, they were cool about it. It's like, bro, come on. Like there's a big dude, Trevin, I think. Trevin Grayson, I think. He was one of those guys, pretty big dude, and he was like all about it. He wasn't like super cocky, like, lift, bro, you don't belong here. So it's like, you like bench? Because I was like, looking at them, they're benching. I was like, oh, what's that? And then he's like, I know what a bench is, but I never tried it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, bro. I was like, bro, it's sore, but I feel good, you know what I mean? And then, it started spiraling the whole thing. I got really into weightlifting. My parents were even noticing. It was like, okay, good for you. And then, I was really happy. I was starting to lose some pounds. My friends were like, bro, you're getting bigger. I'm like, God put it off. I'm like, what do you mean bigger? Like this bigger or this bigger? They're like, both, but like mostly this. I was like, oh, and then, like that whole positive thing, it keeps pushing me. And that's when it sparked my whole like fanaticism into working out. Not like
You saw what you were 15. Sophomore.
Around what? Yeah, around like 15.
15 or so. Yeah. Wow.
It's around
That's
like
good.
3 years. Yeah, and it's like on and off too. That's when I learned that. I saw videos of guys working out, and I was wondering what the reasons were. And before that, I knew about Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows him, but I didn't know him. I didn't look up to him in the way that most people do. Like, oh, I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was like, oh, yeah, pump iron, all that kind. And nothing against that. Like, I never knew about that side of him. I knew he was a bodybuilder, but I didn't know like the whole motivation side. I just started bodybuilding, or not bodybuilding, but working out because, well, it was fun. But then I learned other people's ideologies. There's this guy, Athlete X, or Jeff Cavalier. He was a drug addict and not really healthy, right? But he wanted to get into shit because he didn't want to be like those parents, because we know some parents who are like in their 40s, right? They have kids young, but they can't play with them in the outside.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, if that were to ever happen to me, I don't want to be that kind of parent where it's like I'm watching my kids from, I'm watching my family from some part of like some still area and I can't play with them or just hang out with them like, I would say a healthy parent would. So I was like, that kind of hits home. I don't want to do that to myself. So I started working out. And like Shannon said, take everything that's given to you. Like there's all this here, and I'm working out at home with 2 dumbbells.
Yeah,
And
you have all
and a
these
yoga mat.
barbells.
Yeah,
and
got all this
squat
barbells. Like,
racks
I mean,
and kettlebells.
yeah, it's not like I'm working full time anyways. So like, why not come here anyways? So
Yeah.
I was like, he's right. Just come here and start pumping and get back into the flow.
Yeah, and even the people listening, they all have, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the people have full-time job, lots of responsibility. They're moms, dads, and they have kids, and they make the time. Like, you do that really well too.
Yeah.
Of like making the time, so they'll wake up early. Some of the people wake up at 4 a.m., come to a workout in the morning. Some of them come straight after work, and it's amazing. And it's amazing, Dodi, that it's already like integrating into your life at gonna be 19, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so I remembered, I don't think I shared this before, like the original reasons why I started working out. I might have shared the first one. The first one was the asthma, right? I had the asthma, and so I started running every day. Seventh grade. Mr. Soon, Keola Soon, Yao School. So there was that. If you guys know a way to contact him, tag him, Keola Soon. Anyway, so I started running because I hated my asthma, and my family was saying, "Dang man, you got to get rid of your asthma by working out more." But I thought that was counterintuitive. Doctors are saying, no, don't exercise because you're going to get asthma attack. And actually, a couple of times I did have an asthma attack. I almost died. Yeah, I was on a ventilator.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
And so that was my initial reason. Lost a bunch of weight. So 7th, 8th grade, I started losing weight. And then after I stopped working out, I gained some weight again. And I was like, oh, I don't like not. So working out was good because I felt good at 12, 13.
Yeah.
But then in early high school, I was like, I don't like the pain of exercise anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't like running. I didn't like whatever. But I was like, you know what? This is, I don't know. I kind of want to exercise, but I was way too shy freshman year, sophomore year, because I was getting bullied. I was picked on. So I really didn't exercise. I did a little bit of boxing classes and stuff like that, but it wasn't consistent. Now, my junior year in high school, I stumbled upon not boxing, but mixed martial arts under Kendall. And so I started training MMA for like a month or two. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. This small guy beat me up in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, what is this? What is this magic? Because we all, growing up, we would wrestle with each other and stuff like that. And I thought I was pretty tough, right? And then at 16, I started working out. One reason at 16 was because, like, a lot of guys, I wanna have a boyfriend. Not boyfriend, I wanna have a girlfriend, you know? I wanna look good and this and that. And so that was my motivation at 16. So from 13 years old, it was to get rid of asthma. Then at 16 years old, it was to get a girlfriend. And then at 19 years old, it became because I wanted to be athletic and compete in submission grappling, wrestling tournaments. And then it went from competitive training to when I was 20, 21, 22 to powerlifting. Now I want to lift a lot of weights. And then I swung back into lifting for health.
Yeah.
And from that point, it's been kind of for that reason, lifting for health, general overall well-being, and it's also a good anchor, de-stressor, all that stuff. And it's crazy how it's full circle, because when I talk to a lot of people, different people, about why they initially started working out, initially it might be to, fit into that old clothes that was buried somewhere. Like, I want to fit those jeans again. I want to fit those pants. And then eventually it becomes, you know what, I actually want to just be able to run around with my kids. Now I just want to be healthy and all the. So it's really cool how the fitness goals evolve over time, and eventually people get to a point where they just want to exercise for health. And that's where the whole fighting sickness with fitness, and it's just an incredible thing, man. Like that. 18 years old, you're already doing it though, consistently. You work out, and we all fall off the path sometimes.
Yeah.
But you jump back on. You're working out. I mean, we all see you working out. We're like, hey, it's Dodi. And we love when you work out, bro. Like you're like going nuts. You're like fist bumping, and you're nodding your head. And I see you singing sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the benefits of exercise for you?
For me, the main thing is, I don't even know. It's like, I mean, obviously it's the health benefits, but my real end goal is just becoming healthy and, you know, not shredded even, just healthy and look pretty good the body wise. The face you can't change, you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Recently I saw a video about a 70-year-old Chinese man or Japanese man who looks like 30 years younger. I'm like,
what?
That's BS. And then I'm looking into the article and it's like, this guy, you know, from a distance, he looks in his 40s, an Asian, you know, father in his 40s. And I'm like, how? And it's literally him. You know, he says himself, you know, he wants to, you can't stop the aging process, but you can like prolong it. And I'm like, okay, what's his thing? He works out almost every day. I'm like, that's insane. That's like, not insane, but like that's just wow, you know.
Wow.
I work out as much as possible, but even then, you know, we got to take rest days, and probably he needs to take rest days too. But he looks so much younger. He, you know, eats chicken, like, you know, the whole.
The usual healthy foods, like the spinach, the broccoli, the kale,
Yeah, all that. I'm like, wow, like he just looks way younger, and I kind of want to, you know, do that. I want to be like, want to be older and like, look younger, and what else? Like, the main benefits for me is just looking good. You know what I mean? Trying to be healthy at my age, because like I said, it kind of sucks looking at all these people who are already healthy, and it's like, you know, like, what am I doing different? Like, how can I be like them? And it's just mostly come down to the eating.
Yeah.
Because these guys, they eat when they're hungry. Me, I eat food on the spot. Like, oh my gosh. You wouldn't believe it. Mom and dad come home from Paradise, the place in Calgary, the Filipino store. Oh, we got latik, we got bibingka. I'm like, nice. And they're like, oh, you guys want them? And I think my parents always, you know, they buy it for, you know, me and my brother, these foods. And then, you know, ask them, you guys want to eat this? And they're like, oh no, it's okay, we bought them for you. I'm like, oh, right. And I don't think it's in my head. I always try to save some for them, but I always end up eating all of it. And I was like, nah, I should stop doing that. And that's when I cut the rice, started cutting out like a lot of sweets. And I was like, I started losing some pounds. And then I was wondering, I was losing weight pretty fast. Like I could start fitting these jeans, and I was like, holy crap, bro! Like these jeans are getting even looser. And I'm like,
you gotta get a belt.
Huh?
Yeah, you gotta get a belt.
Yeah, I just stopped using those jeans altogether.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think I went too much at some point. My parents started saying like, you work out too much. You work out every day. You have referee practice and it ends at 6. You're working out already until 7:30. I'm like, you know, especially when I was in the track season too. I was running.
Track season.
Yeah, we were like doing long runs, like 3 miles a day, and like even after that practice, I just go home and lift more. My parents, you know, were just there. I think it comes from a place of love, not because like, oh, you know, at that point I wasn't so hard into fitness. I didn't even go out of my house.
Wow.
But you know, I think seeing this initial change from me being an inside hermit, and someone that doesn't go outside and work out, not even inside the house, like running in place, stuff like that. I think seeing that drastic change kind of like surprised me, because you know, surprised them, but it's also because I was working out a lot, way too much, and yeah. You know, looking back at now, I agree with them, but you know, it's not like all bad either.
Right, because you know, just like it's so important, because exercise I think a lot of us done that. Like for some of us, working out 6 days a week is too much, and the furthest I've pushed myself was work out 7 days a week every day for I think 40 something days in a row. Which, but if you think about it, in a grand scheme of things, people who are doing construction, carrying concrete every day, they're doing it every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 hours straight. The people that are on farms carrying all this stuff, and so the cool thing is our body adapts.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just crazy when we go from 0 to hero. We want to go from 0 to 6 days a week. That's not good. That's why it's probably better to do if you're starting out. Don't exercise right now. Just go from 0 to exercise today. You know, and just there's so many different approaches depending on personality. I mean, what kind of personality type are you, Dodi? Okay, here's the type. So you can do a little bit every day. So if you're just starting out, okay, I'm going to walk for 10 minutes today. I'm gonna walk for 15 minutes tomorrow. I'm gonna walk tomorrow, and increase the intensity, duration, weights, right? Or you're the type that say, I'm gonna go all out today, rest tomorrow, all out the day after, rest the day after, and then every other day. Like what do you like better?
I'd say when it comes to like the type of workouts, I am the guy that would be like, go all out now. Okay, collapse for a day.
Yeah.
Go all out now, but it's not like go all out at the heaviest weights possible. Just like use regular weights how I would. Use regular weights, something that you can do for reps, and just keep going hard on it. And then I don't even know. I just sometimes don't increase the weight. I just keep adding more reps to it, or just like trying to fatigue myself more. So that's the kind. But I definitely say that trying to get into it, yeah, doing it slowly is way better to go in, because you'll build habits that way, and that way you'll be more consistent. Because even if it's to do like a longer period of time, like how long does it take to make a habit?
Let's just say 2 months.
It's like
2 months.
I think it's like 3 weeks, but yeah, 2 months, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like if you can slowly build up that habit over time, then in the end, like you'll probably benefit better, instead of being like me or certain other people where, you go hard for a week. Oh, okay, and it becomes to the point where your body's always aching.
Yeah.
And you can't really keep up that consistent, hard, and then go rest, hard, rest, and that's the thing.
Yep.
So I'd say it's better. And all you guys always recommend going slowly. Like you said in previous podcasts, put your clothes on first, and then start walking out, and then go back, and then next day walking out. We're already here. Might as well go the extra mile.
Yeah.
So I definitely say that's better for the long run.
I like that, because if you think about it, like in sports, imagine like what did you do? Cross country, right?
I did track and field.
I don't know, track and field.
Yeah, it's long distance.
Was it every other day, or was it every day a little bit?
We started like every day. We always worked out Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, right?
And then we started off 10-minute long runs, going up from the stadium, up Baldwin High School, running around, and come back down. And as the weeks went on, the coaches made it longer.
Consistency, right?
Yep.
Because it wasn't like you're only gonna run 3 days a week.
No.
You're running pretty much every day. Every day, yeah. So it works in sports. It works in. I mean, it's just so cool that consistency is what drives careers. It drives jobs. It drives sports. It literally drives relationships. You're consistently, you're consistent versus sporadic. A little bit here, go nuts. Oh, I can't move my body. That's not good.
No.
Plus, you can get sick that way. When you I'm not gonna call it overtrain, but more so like under recovery. Yeah. Because you can recover. I mean, our bodies can do a lot, right? I mean, people carrying concrete, like my friends who carry concrete, 8 to 10 hours a day, they're jacked and they don't lift weights. They're jacked and they're ripped, and they recover from it. At first, they felt overtrained. Oh, I'm working too hard, right? And I guarantee in the beginning of a job or anything, oh my God, I feel like I'm stressing too much. This is too much work, right? Now think about concrete, like physical and mental. I gotta lift this concrete overhead, stack it, boom. I gotta pick this up and boom. 8 hours, right? 10 hours, whatever it is. And it's really amazing how the body adapts. So I think that's just good advice, just to start slow. Gradually. And that's what we recommend to people that come here to work out, is just start slow. Okay, let's figure out which 3 days a week you want to come to. Oh, you want to come Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Okay, great. What time? And they'll say, I want to come at 5 in the morning. Okay, great. Boom. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's just start with that. Let's just make sure you show up tomorrow at 5 a.m. Don't even worry about Friday workout. Don't worry about anything else. Just worry about tomorrow. Actually, tonight. What are you going to do tonight so that tomorrow you're going to show up? Well, I'm probably going to, put my clothes on the thing and have my clothes folded tonight.
Yep.
Because you win the victory today, which leads to tomorrow. So it's almost like whatever project or workout, whatever it is, if we prepare today, tomorrow is better, right? Because that's that whole analogy. It didn't make sense of like, why do we wait till tomorrow? Right? Like, I'm going to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next month. And it becomes sometimes, and it becomes never. Never mind.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that's not good. Never mind, I'll just work out later. Or never mind, I'll do that thing later. Or never mind, no more time. Versus, okay, what can we do today? Oh, today I could probably do X, Y, and Z. Fold the clothes. You know what? Tomorrow is going to be super busy because I have work. It's a long meeting day, whatever. I'm going to keep my clothes in my car and put it into the passenger seat so I can see it right in my face. So that way it's like whatever is easiest to you. I've heard some people even put their clothes by their keys. They wrap their keys in their workout clothes and shoes.
Oh.
So you literally have to grab that. Yeah. And that's the whole thing about out of sight, out of mind. Just real simple things. But if you are someone listening that has a hard time working out or hasn't worked out in a while or just fallen off the wagon, my recommendation would be just make it as simple as possible and don't set the bar too high starting off. Just set the bar low. Like, seriously, just make it a goal to just put on your running or walking shoes and just walk for 5 minutes today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Just do it today. Just go walk for 5 minutes today.
Yeah.
And do it again tomorrow. And do that for 3 weeks straight, 2 months, whatever it is. You're going to be like, you know what? I might as well walk for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Might as well walk for 20 minutes. Might as well start doing something else. And so those are great ways to just build habits initially. Just do it a little bit every day. Because when we start seeing like, oh man, we put these false expectations. Like let's just say you go from 0. Yeah, I probably should work out 5 days a week. And, I probably should work out every day and this and that.
Yeah.
But
no.
If you have these expectations in your mind and you're doing 0 at the moment, that's like, imagine if you go to a completely new job and you say, I should be mastering everything within the first week. Like, you're not going to master a new job in 6 days. It's just not happening.
No.
And so, just like our bodies, anything is possible, but it takes time. So just like with working out and eating healthy too. I know the big one is eating healthy. The thought process can be, let me just get rid of everything. So that's one way to do it. So some people, they're just gonna say, let me just get rid of all the junk food in my house, and that's one way to do it. But the other way is just to make it super simple. Like in your fridge, just put the spinach and the vegetables right in front of your face. So as soon as you open the fridge, it's right there. Put all your alcohol, juice, sodas, junk food, put all of that in the back. Right? If you put that behind all of your fruits and vegetables, then you're less likely to grab them. You're going to grab the fruit right in front. You're going to grab the eggs right in front. Make it super simple. Yeah, that's probably what I would recommend. I mean, it works for a lot of people just to start slow. Maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 are like, yeah, I'm hardcore. I'm going to just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
But that's the minority, right? And for every person that recommends that hardcore, that's why it's good to have both. The hardcore, just get rid of everything, and then also the slowly stack some wins every day. Okay, today I'm just going to drink 8 glasses of water. That's my goal. Okay, do that. Drink. You can even set it smaller. Yeah. I'm gonna drink 2 glasses of water at breakfast today because I normally don't drink water. Right? Whatever that is. Yeah. And then you start accumulating some wins, and then you start thinking, oh, what's next? Okay, 2 glasses at every meal. Okay, now 8 glasses a day. Okay, 1 gallon a day. Whatever that water is, and then moving on to next habit. So. Now, I think it's a really good conversation that we could talk about forever. Yeah. Habit building, habit forming.
Very good.
Like, that's a good habit that you have now, Dodi. Like working out again, right?
Yeah. And I think I give myself. You're giving me too much credit because I have all this time, right? I'm still looking for a job. I just recently applied to Domino's, but even then, it's like I have so much time in my house. Besides some editing, which I only do here, and besides also working out, like I have so much time, and that's, I think we gotta point it out. It's like And we know what we just put out. Yeah, it's just like, for all the people that are watching, or just those that have full lives already. In your older years, you already have kids, stuff like that. Families. It's like, I give you major props because, you take time out of your day to work out, better yourself, and I could say, oh yeah, I work out. Yeah, I come here, 2 hours a day or an hour a day, but not everyone has that kind of time. And these guys, the people that are working out are always making time for this, and it's really like a real struggle sometimes, I'm assuming. But major props for those people,
Yeah,
something to point out.
that's true. And Dodi, you got school coming up soon,
Yeah.
so some of that free time might
It's gonna
start.
yeah,
Now
study
this
time
is
now.
the test. So this is why, Dodi, I'm really glad you started getting back into these habits before it's about to get crazy.
Yeah.
Because once school starts, you're
It's
gonna be like,
gonna
oh
go.
my goodness, I have homework,
Yep.
I have this exam coming up, I have this quiz, I have a midterm, I have my finals. Oh my goodness, Justin, I just feel like I'm going crazy. But since you have the habit of working out, you can put it into your schedule. Like, would you ever neglect your dental health just because you're busy?
Nah.
You wouldn't neglect your dental health because it's automatic.
Yeah.
You wouldn't neglect your skin and hair health and not take a shower and wash it. You wouldn't neglect
No
that, right?
showers, man.
Yeah, you're not going to
What?
neglect your skin health, your hair health, your dental health.
Never.
But it takes a little bit of time for the physical health to become a habit,
Mhm.
right? Because that might be the first thing to go. I can just not take care of my physical health.
Yeah. I could always work out on my own.
Yeah, and then you know what? But we wouldn't get rid of our dental health or skin health. We wouldn't go without showering.
Yeah. Never.
You wouldn't go without not brushing your teeth
Oh.
for a week straight,
Oh no.
right? But so that's the kind. If we can flip the mindset to that, of like, okay, just imagine not working out for 1 week or 2 weeks as the equivalent to not brushing your teeth, your dental health for 2 weeks, right? Because it's gonna take a lot of time to reverse all of that.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
because imagine if you don't brush your teeth for 7 days, you might have cavities, you might, whatever. If you don't brush your teeth, you don't floss, you might have some problems, which is gonna take more time, take more money to fix, and more pain actually, because you're gonna get drilled in the mouth, right? The dentist, like, boom.
Yeah.
Versus, same like with working out. Now, it might not be so drastic in 7 days, but let's just say that's 70 days.
Oh.
You don't work out for 3 months, 6 months, 6 years, and that's okay. If you haven't worked out for that long, it's okay. You can start today. But think of it as the longer you go, the more work and pain and suffering you're going to have to experience to get back to baseline,
Yeah.
right? Because I wish we could just be like, you know what? I have peak health, I have great health, and I never have to work out again. I have perfect teeth, healthy teeth, and I never have to do brushing again. Like, it just doesn't work that way, right?
No.
It's like, or it's like, oh, I got promoted to my new job, I got the new thing, I don't need to do anything anymore. You're quickly going to go backwards.
More responsibilities.
Oh, yeah. Your teeth, your hair, your body, your career. And these are things that we can control. Actually, the only thing we can control is ourselves, right? Because we can't control others.
Yeah.
But we can control, am I going to brush my teeth? Right. Am I going to floss today? Am I going to wash my hair? Am I going to take a shower? Am I going to eat healthy things for my body? Am I going to exercise and run the machine? Right? Just like with cars. This is so interesting. It's actually a fun conversation when I talk to some of my classmates or, just people in general, older, younger, whatever, about how they take care of their cars so well.
And then
They'll floss and gloss and do all this stuff for their tires, for their car, wax on, wax off, all that good stuff. But when it comes to their body, whether it's dental, hair, skin, whatever, they don't take as much time for it. Oh, it's like, I don't really care about my hair. Oh, okay. I don't really care about my body. I'm like, but you take care of your auto body, your car body.
Yeah.
Your you know what I mean? Like auto body. Then your real body. Like that car, how long is that car going to last? Even if you take care of it. Maybe 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
If I really take care of it, 30 years. Right? What about your body? And then, what's your point, Joseph? What's your point? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, this is why I keep preaching fighting sickness and fitness. And I want to share this message because, this podcast, we're not trying to sell anything.
Yeah.
What we're just trying to do
There
is
is no
promote the message of getting healthy, regardless of if that's through charity, if that's through housing, if that's through peace of mind by eating healthy, if that's by feeling good by exercise and also getting benefits, if that's through martial arts and self-defense, if that's through, whatever the route is. The number one thing we want from this podcast is not to sell anything, but to just promote overall well-being. That's the mission of our gym, to live a healthier and happier life. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And so, there's another thing too that we could touch on is like self-defense, right? Because eventually we want to start promoting self-defense.
Yeah.
And martial arts, because it's such a underrated way not only to get exercise, but also get a sense of well-being. Like what you're saying, Dodi, about that example about being older and having kids and not being able to play with them, right? Now, hopefully this never happens, but we can't hope for things to not happen, but hopefully this never happens. But let's just take the example. You're sitting there, you can't exercise, let's just say you're not active, you can't play with your kids, and now some threat is coming close to your kids.
Oh my God!
Right? I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but because this is not like, but actually, honestly, times are crazy now. But what if on the one chance, the 1%, 0.1% chance it happens to you?
Yeah.
Right? Of course, we hear stories about happening to other people, but what happens when it happens, if it happens to you, and you don't know anything, or let alone you can't even like run and functionally, functional fitness of like picking up your kid, like you can't grab them and run and deadlift, grab them, run away. Or that's where the self-defense, being functional, is super important. Yeah, I mean, being functional is life, right? Being able to just run upstairs, carry a 50-pound bag, a box, carry your children without your arm being sore.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are so underrated. Self-defense. I forget who said this. The best martial artists never have to use it. I forget who said that. I don't know if that's Bruce Lee. I'm probably butchering it, but something along those lines. The best martial artists never have to use it. Because they're almost so confident and humble that if confrontation happens, they're like, you know what, it's cool, I don't want no problems, walk away, right? And so, versus if we don't know stuff, it's very easy to just start snapping back at them. You know what you fricker, how come, this and that, and you should. And then what happens after that? It escalates again. People get close. And what happens after they get close? Some sort of physical altercation, right? Versus if you're already pretty confident in yourself. Like if you're working out, the people that work out, they don't go around moving home furniture and say, haha, look, I can lift up this couch. No, they don't do that. They were like, I know I can run pretty okay. I can carry some dumbbells and walk down and back the building. That means I can probably push a Costco cart, no problem. Carry groceries, no problem. Carry my kids, no problem. And what is that worth, right? What is that worth? So
different quality of life,
Yeah.
And different quality of life, and you made me think when it came to that part of like, oh, what if this happens? Not even just to your kids, if you're to have them. It's just like family or just someone in general, like around you, and like you can't do anything. But if you were to work out, theoretically, you would be able to do something about it, right? I think if you're able to, it's kind of like a type of insurance, like you don't want these things to happen, and you never want them to happen, right? But if they were to happen by some chance around you, like what would you do? Like, and I'd say that if you can, being able to set aside an hour, maybe like 3-4 hours a week, not only just working out, but something like jiu-jitsu or martial arts. It's like it's a safe way to make some like insurance for those times when they do happen, if they do happen.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, obviously we don't want those kind of things to happen, but if they were, it's better to be safe than sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes it might not even happen to you or this person particularly, but if it happens right in front of you, you don't have to be a bystander or a victim. Yeah. You can like assess the situation and like, oh dang, something's happening. But like what you're saying is so true, because the other thing is, I want people to know that you're worth it. Meaning like, if you work 40 hours a week.
Yeah. If
you work 40 hours a week and you're doing this to feed your family, pay the roof over your head, all this stuff, respect, right? 40 hours a week. Just put literally 10% of that time, right? 3 to 4 hours, like what you're saying, into you and your health. Because without you can't work 40 hours a week. Or sometimes you might have to do more. If you're working more, you're manager, executive, leader, you're working more, good for you, right? You have more responsibilities, you're crushing it, you're helping more people, overseeing more things, awesome. But just don't forget you.
Yeah.
Right? Because I wrote about it in the book, and some people got offended by this, of the fact that I said that your family shouldn't be an excuse. Your family and job and your career shouldn't be an excuse why you don't work out. It should be a reason to want to work out.
Yeah.
And some people are like, well, that was kind of aggressive. But I'm like, well, but if it's the truth, it's really how you see it. How would this sound, Dodi? Just for example, if I said, well, Dodi, I'm not working out anymore, and I got fat, and I got out of shape, and I'm unhealthy because of you, because I have to work and help you out, and then I have to take care of my parents, and then I have my team to take care of, and I have this, and that's why I'm fat and overweight now.
Yeah,
like, that would make you like, what? What do you're like, what? You wouldn't want to be blamed for me not doing something.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
And so versus like, you know what, Dodi? I got to make sure I'm in tip-top shape so that I have enough energy to give you and to give the podcast and to give the team and to give our members and you listening to this. I got to make sure I'm in tip-top shape, which is why no matter how busy I am, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, boom, I got to get it done. I got to work out, right? Like, same situation, same circumstances, different mentality, different outcome. Yeah,
definitely like that. When you started saying, reminded me of, I think, Mariah Casco. When she said,
the Mariah, shout out.
How does she how does she provide for her daughter? I think, how does she provide for her daughter? And she said, in a way, she had to be selfish, not because I only care about myself. It's like I need to take care of myself so I can take care of my daughter. And I was like, that's like a way to see. And I think, it really reminded me of that. And that's definitely true. If you are like a father, a mother working 40 hours a week, you don't want to be like, I gotta take care of these kids, man. I gotta put a roof over their heads, and I can't even work out that. It should be like you said, I need to get in shape so I can keep doing this for longer, that kind of thing. And not everyone's the same. Not everyone has the same type of like mentality of that, because maybe they might not have the same family situation. But for most, it applies to that.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely. Don't use them as an excuse to like not work out. Use them as the reason to. Same thing too for me. Besides, if I were to have a future family, it's for my parents too. Because I don't want to just they're old enough, throw them into the retirement home. No, I don't want that. I want to be there for them. Because maybe right now I'll be strong enough to help them for now. But what if they get really old to the point where I actually have to like a little bit carry them a bit? I don't want to be. I just want to be there for them. What I mean? And I want them to be like the reason I work out so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And besides the short term, looking good or just being healthy, long term, being healthy and helping parents,
being functional.
So, stuff like that. That's like the main reason I work out.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's really good, and and that's why like what you said is exactly correct, because about the book I wrote, there was a part of a paragraph where I said we typically will do more for others than we will ourselves. Right? If we work out because of other, And then there is that balance, right? There's a balance where, part of it is work out because it makes you happy, but then also if you working out is gonna help your family, like let's just say that this is when I was 19, when I had the liver thing, okay,
Yeah.
and I was told I'm not gonna live to see 30. That was freaky. Okay, not because of me, but because of my parents and my family reaction. They're like, "Holy crap, am I gonna have to bury my child before 30?" And just looking at their facial reaction and also imagining what I can't even imagine, just trying to imagine a little bit of what they're thinking and feeling, drove me. That's another reason, on top of the many reasons, to better myself too, because it's like, man, I don't want to stress out my family. I mean, some of them were 40, 50, 60. My grandparents, 80, 90 years old. And I'm over here, 19 years old, stressing out everybody. Right? I'm like, man, I should be taking care of them. I should be taking care of my aunt who's, retired and can't walk. I should be taking care of my grandparent who losing their vision. And I'm over here, can't even take care of myself at 19. So there's so many reasons. And that's why it's so beautiful when we get to meet with other people and we get to hear about why they want to work out. I mean, I've heard so many stories like, I want to work out so I can take care of my father who's 88 years old, or, whatever it is. And so it's really cool. I guess the bottom line is just don't make excuses. Don't try to make excuses and like rationalize like, oh, I'm not gonna work out because I have to whatever. It's like, oh no, I need to work out because I have that. It's like, it's so cool because you can always sleep a little bit earlier, sleep a little bit later, wake up a little bit earlier, you can always change your schedule to prioritize what's important to you. So
yeah, really,
priorities.
You kind of unlock some memories when you said, what we would do for others, and especially when you said, when you were told that you wouldn't be living till 30, that you saw your parents' facial expressions. It's I might be like come off as a little like weird here or like offensive, but I remember there's this joke, not a joke. You know what memes are?
Yeah.
It's like some of them are pretty dark,
Yeah.
And I think one of them was like a person who would want to end their life, and I'm not saying that's good. I don't advocate for that at all.
Yeah.
I'm against it. Who wanted to end their life, but oh, I want to die. I want to kill myself. But then it's like, my mom will be sad. My dad will be sad. My family will be missing me. It's like that kind of thing. It really stuck with me. It's like, like not for me particularly, but that made me really think. Like, yeah, these people, like, you matter. You matter. It's not like you can't really say that you don't matter, especially if you have these people in your life. Because if you just say something like that, I'll kill myself, and that made me think you actually kind of don't care. Because if you would, you wouldn't just do that so selfishly. And I understand it now why people say that's so selfish of someone to just end their own lives. I'm like why so? It's because there's other people in their life that care about them. And I was like, oh shucks, that really made me think about it that way. And I was like, oof. So something like that made me like vow is never to come to that side. If ever it happened, always bring myself up from from the jaws of defeat, something like that. Especially you, like you were about to do it, and then you just thought about that and like, wow, it's that compassion you have for others. You don't want to see your parents that sad, and I was like, that's really commendable. There's some people out there, they don't have that kind of thought of their parents. You know what I mean? It's very, I don't know, really opens to my emotions. I'm that kind of emotional person, so when I saw it, I really took it as inspiration not to like come to that side.
Yeah.
And then your story, especially, like you were on the verge, you were going to do it, but at the last moment you put yourself out of it, and you made the absolute best of the worst situation ever. And I'd say that when it comes to stuff like that, these people who come to that point, especially you're like the most how can I say? You experienced the worst of it, and like you don't want to go back there again. You know what I mean? And I don't want to experience that. So I don't know.
Well, thank you, Dodi. It's just real interesting because that was a thought that flashed to my mind
Yeah.
when I was gonna jump off the bridge. I was thinking about, I visualized my funeral. Okay, and I know I talked about this in the previous podcast, and also in the book, but for new listeners and repeating, people, I would visualize my funeral. Who would show up. At first, I thought about all my bullies and all the people that have, done all this stuff. I imagined them laughing at me. Ha ha ha, he was weak and he died. Ha ha ha, And then I flipped to my family. Oh, I wonder how my family would feel. And then I just visualized my parents just distraught. And then I also thought about my, some of my family members, grandparents, and that feeling was so strong that I basically just stopped. Such a strong feeling. And disclaimer too, if you do have these thoughts and feelings, please go see a professional by all means. Counselor, therapist, psychologist, please go see somebody, because I've done that. Over the course of my adult life, I dropped out of college, people know, but because education is an investment, right?
Yeah.
Working out is an investment. So your gym membership, your training, all that's an investment. I probably invested tens of thousands of dollars for my mental health, my physical health, and my education outside of school. Because I think it's so important, if you have those kind of thoughts and feelings, to overcome it. And you don't have to do it alone. You actually need people to overcome it. And the tendency for me in the past was to, I'm going to just do it myself. I'm going to figure out this darkness myself. Then, reach out to someone, like a professional or a good friend or whatever, and like, hey, I need help. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that we could do a whole podcast on that, like mental health. Yeah. Because I'm a huge advocate of that. It's changed my life, counseling, therapy, and stuff like that. And it's just made me an overall happier person, I feel like. And then, just continually seeing different perspectives. Dang, Dodi, that's really good stuff. The whole thing about other people, and like what you're saying about some people who go through that phase, because I think we all go through the phase, right? But I think a really good thing to do is to value whatever you take this with a grain of salt. Value whatever you want to value. It could be people, it could be cars, it could be sex appeal, it could be money, it could be whatever the value is. Cool. But I really believe you look at all the religions, in the world, all these different philosophies, Stoics, all that stuff. They typically are very about other people. They're usually about other people in a sense of making their tribe better, making their family better, making their community better, making their country better. And I really feel like when the mentality shifts from me to we, it changes. And I think we all go through that, but you can see it where some people at 16, 17, I share this a lot with my high school athletes, especially when I was coaching up at Kamehameha School, was when they would talk trash about their parents and whatever, and I say, I understand, they're being a little hard on you, or they're not giving you what you want, or whatever it is. I'm like, I could just be a complete ass about it and be like, hey, you're not gonna just get a participation, I could say that, but I'm like, no, dude, but listen, just because you're 16, 17 years old, you feel a little bit strong, you're like a tough guy now, but you're not. Remember when you're like 4 years old in preschool, or who took care of you when you were little?
Your parents.
Who fed you?
Your parents.
Like, You forget that. I forget that. We all forget that. It might not be your parents. So some people, it might be grandparents or aunt or a counselor, or I mean, but there's always someone or a group of people that took care of us, because as humans, most of us were at one point, taken care of. So yeah, that's probably the message to young people. If they have any sort of resentment or anger or whatever it is, but just remember that person or the people that took care of you when you were a child, when you were helpless, when there's no way you could provide a roof over your own head, or even worst case scenario, like for me, I don't even think it's a bad situation. People have it way worse in other countries. Like, we just didn't have money for food, and we went to, we're lucky here. We have the food bank. We have, all these nonprofits that could help us out. Even people that were homeless and had nothing, look how grateful they are. They're grateful to have one another. Half the world lives on $5 a day. Imagine that. You work a whole day and you get $5, Dodi. Okay, like that's more than half the world. And we're over here, I want to buy this. I want to buy that. I want to buy the new shirt. I want to buy the new whatever it is.
Yeah.
And perspective, just being grateful.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up with gratitude.
Yeah.
But
very much.
Anything you wanna leave us off with, Dodi Madriaga?
Not really. Just like always, mad respects to those that are always trying to better themselves, especially working out. Doesn't have to always be working out, but trying to get to find a new position, trying to find another job. Always trying to improve yourself. I respect you guys. All of you. And it doesn't need to be like for some creator cause, but I just respect that you're doing it for yourself even. So that's basically what I want to leave off of. Like, there's not much I can say. I'm still only 19, or I'm not 19, 18 still. 18, but that's some things to share.
Yeah, no, Dodi, thank you for sharing, man. It's a good insight, because you have that curiosity and that open mind that as I get more into working and career and all that, and I feel like even my cousins and family members who get a little bit older forget that open-mindedness and that curiosity of like, hey, what's possible? Hey, can you share me that? What did you do here? How did you do that? How did you make that thumbnail? Like that curiosity starts going, hey, do it this way. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on, Dodi. So
yeah,
thank you, and thank you for listening. Please spread this message. Leave a review, guys. Leave a review. And until next time, fighting sickness with fitness, done.